Hello, so someone wanted me to do a video about patronage for the Twins team, right? Because I run a Twins team. This is what I can talk about really easily. So, right, if you do, right, so generally speaking, right, well actually we'll go into the actual hero of living, this will be easier. So, right, on patronage, right, so generally speaking, you'll do Merlin on Krista, right, because this allows, because Merlin, when he's maxed out, he gives an extra 50% skill speed increase for magic dealing abilities, right? Magic damage dealing abilities. So, right, this means she can use her frozen needles more often, right? Which means they're much more likely to be down when Lars uses his Eye of the Lord of the Storm ability. Right, on Lars, you usually just use Mara as patron. He can use Merlin, but Mara can't be used on Krista, so usually it's Mara on Lars and Merlin on Krista. Mara, right, when she's maxed out, she triples the duration of status effects, right? So his stun, right, will last 3 times as long. With Mara as his patron, right? The only other patron these characters can use is Axel, right? Axel is this one. He can block, right, so if you have Axel's, right, he can prevent one-shot kills. Sometimes you will want Axel on Lars, especially against like a Kark team, right? So because when Kark ults, right, Lars is almost always a target, and if Lars dies, your chance of winning that fight drops significantly. But if you have Axel on Lars, Lars will almost always survive and be able to combo off. In those situations, sometimes you'll run Krista without a pet, like say, for example, maybe you're using, like, Celeste is your healer in those groups, right? So you need to put Axel on Lars, right? And this means Mara's not being used. Krista can't use Mara, neither can Celeste. So either you're putting Merlin on Celeste, or you're leaving Merlin on Krista, and this just means you just have 4 patronage team, which is fine. A lot of times this is the right move. Like I said, especially against like Kark teams, sometimes Jew teams, right? I use Aurora, Celeste, Sebastian twins, and so Lars will be the very back spot. So sometimes having Axel on Lars against Jew can help. But sometimes, like, maybe you'll want Krista without a pet, right? You'll want Merlin on Celeste, right? This is important against, like, say, Astaroth. Merlin adds magic penetration, right? 9,957.6 to be exact, right? This can allow her to do maximum damage to Astaroth and to Luther, right? This can be relevant against some things, like especially in like Guild Wars where you are in manual, right? You don't need the Merlin on Chris as much because you can actually just wait till the ice needles come down before using Lars ult. So sometimes you can just use Merlin here. If you have Mara on Lars, for example, you can then put Axel on Krista, just have 5 patrons, but it doesn't matter as much on Krista. But generally speaking, that's where you'll have it on the twins. On Aurora, like, she's my main tank. Generally, you'll have Kane on her, but sometimes you will want Oliver, like, especially against, like, Isaac teams, Leanne teams, sometimes you'll want Oliver, right? Because this is, right, Kane allows her to spam her ult a lot, because this is, right, extra 35% extra energy every time she dodges. So 3 dodges is full energy, right? Her ult, right, is AE damage, it's magic damage. So this, sometimes you will trigger Leanne's abilities and Isaac's abilities excessively with this, but most time this is very good because she keeps dodge buffs up on the entire team, which can make her very oppressive to physical teams. She can actually use Merlin and Axel as well. I've never seen a block point using Axel. Merlin, Laura has fairly weak penetration overall, right? She only gets to 12,782.3, so Merlin can almost double her penetration, which can be really useful in some situations. Generally, you won't do it a lot, though. Usually just be Kane and Oliver on her, but Merlin can be useful in certain situations. You can get a lot more damage out of Rainbow Halo, for example. And then Sebastian, right? Sebastian, in my magic team, I actually usually keep Oliver on him. You can use Fenris or Albus. So if you're using a physical attack team, a lot of times Albus is the right pet because he can get the damage bonus, but Right, I don't really have a lot of physical damage going on, so most of the time I just put Oliver on him because Oliver is my next strongest pet. Right, and this gives him a bit more survivability. You know, sometimes, like I said, if I have Oliver on Aurora, I'll switch Fenris onto him because my Fenris is a lot stronger than my Albus. Right, Albus is my weakest pet. Eventually I'll get him up, but it's just, you know, I've been focusing on the magic pets. Kane is my strongest. Right now I'm working up Axel. I want to get Axel Max because Axel is the overall best combat pet. But yeah, anyway, that's just generally speaking how you'll Patreon on twins. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for watching.